Alright everyone, back for another battle report. Continue the escalation with the Necrons player who has joined us in the previous reports, moving up from 1,000 points to 1,500, taking on my Tyranids. So looking at my Tyranids, we have 1,500 points of Jormungandr. And in my HQ slot, it's a Battalion, is the Swarmlord, and he has Catalyst and Psychic Screen. Tyranid Prime, as you see with the Deathspitter and Lash with Boneswords. 2 10-man units of Termagants, 8 Raveners, just with their sliding talons. I am going to be proxying this guy as the Red Terror, just because I really want to give him a go. I have a Lictor in the elite slot, and then also in the troop slot we have 9 warriors with Deathspitters and Boneswords, and 3 Venom Canons as well. Into the heavy support slot, my Tyrannofex is with Acid Spray, proxying as Rupture Cannons. I'm just trying out something very different and random to see how it goes. Then we have a Trygon Prime. He has Dermic Symbiosis as well as Xenogenic Acid as the relic. And that is pretty much it for this list. So that's 1,500 points of Tyranids. And just covering the Necron list here for him, just again where he's new to the game. It's 1,500 points using Mephrit Dynasty. It's the one that we've just been using just because we're used to it and it's easy to jump into the game. So it's 2 patrols to get everything in that we need. So in the HQ slot, we'll combine everything together. We have a Chronomancer with the Entropic Lance, his Veil of Darkness, so 1 CP spent in addition to the 2 for the patrol. A Royal Warden. Then we have a Overlord with the Arrow of Infinity, just always a fun one to bring, especially against Tyranids. 15 warriors with Ghost Flayers. They both have flares. These Reapers are proxying that just to get the extra range. The Reapers are sometimes a little hard to use. Then we have 3 Scarab Swarms. The Nightbringer, he's been eager to bring that guy out. He said no to the Spiders in this match, so the Spiders are out. Nightbringer's in for the growing of the list, and he has the antimatter meteor. That's it. And then 6 Scorched Destroyers, 2 of the Reap Blades, and then the Reap Threshers, I think they're called. And that is 1,500 points of Necron. All right, quick amendment. When I was throwing the list together, I messed up because I was just experimenting and seeing what could fit where. There is actually 2 Spiders and 1 extra warrior in each unit. They have particle beamers, and we're going to say the lower one has a gloom prism, so a little chance to stop the Swarmlord's ability. So aside from that, everything else is good. Alright everyone, here's the table we were playing on, but before we jump into the report, huge shout out to our patrons, Brian and Teos. Your support has helped grow the channel already. We have a new piece of equipment I used in the last couple of videos, a nice gimbal here for the camera. It's going to provide smooth panning shots. And as we build up towards doing live streams, more equipment will be purchased. But for the time being, where we're doing the recap battle reports, this is a piece of gear that is going to help improve the viewing quality as well. And a shout out to Kare Kombucha, providing healthy drinks for wargamers. If you haven't tried kombucha, all kinds of health benefits for it. It's got natural occurring B vitamins, so it gives you a little nice natural energy spike. Much better for you than energy drinks or things like that. If you're local to Nova Scotia, Canada, you can check the website in the video description below. And if you're interested in becoming a patron, you can join up in the link below. There is all kinds of cool perks, such as getting a Patronic dice that can be used in the game, as well as having a named unit in one of my armies that gets called out during the battle report. So, without further ado, we are playing Scorched Earth here, GT 2021 mission pack. Sees deployment 12 inches up on each side. Or sorry, 10 inches up, I think it is, or something like that. But anyway, it's like that, Dawn of War. In terms of objectives, there is 6, 1, 2, where is it? Oh, right there. You'll see it in a second. 3, 4, 5, and then the 6th one is actually hidden in this piece of terrain. And speaking of, we'll talk about the terrain pieces here. So everything is just ruins. As you can see, this piece here will be obscuring. Shooting through any part of these trees, if a model is coming through any part like around there, is going to be -1 to hit. Being dense, and this just block will be obscuring. Aside from that, that's how that little area is going to look, just very cool. In terms of secondaries, I went with Rod. I went with Stranglehold. I'm going to give that one a try this time instead of Engage, just to switch things up. And I went with To the Last, taking Swarmlord, one of my Tyrannofexes and the warrior unit. Necrons chose Vermin to the last as well, which will be the Nightbringer. One warrior unit, which will be designated once they drop, and the Scorpex. And then they went with Raise the Banners. It's the third one, so we'll roll off here, find out who's going to pick the deployment zone. Let me go with the red dice, huh? 3, 2, Necrons. Oh, 2. So Tyranids get the pick of deployment. We'll come back after we've deployed and see what the table looks like. All right, so we have deployed. Tyranids taking this side. So looking at my deployment, we have Termagants, Swarmlord, and the Trygon Prime right here, followed by the Raveners and the Red Terror. I really need to get a model for them, but there's rumors there's going to be a new model, so maybe I'll wait for that. We have a Rupture effects there, Warriors, Prime, other Rupture effects on that side. Opposing us on this end of the table, we have the Nightbringer, who is protected by the Scarabs, 2 Spiders, and then the Warriors as well. One group of Warriors. Overlord right here, that way he has line of sight down to pretty much everything on this side of the table if it moves, as well as over here, and he is protected by the fact he is a character. Then we have another Warrior blob there. Same deal with him, he's just kind of hanging on this side. Then we have the Scorpic Destroyers and the Chronomancer right there. So we're going to find out who gets first turn here. I'm going to grab one. There, we'll get you a Necron die if you wish to roll that, or you can roll whatever dice you're feeling lucky with today.
It's like a weighted die to me.
A weighted die. All right, so we'll find out who gets first turn in this match. Tyranids with the 2. 2 of 6, Necrons first turn, so that's not good for me, but that's why we have the high fleet bonus of having extra cover. So we'll come back after turn 1 movement for the Necron. Alright, so movement done for the Necrons. Not too much happening. Protocol of the Sudden Storm, I believe it's called, allowing him to do an action and still shoot, just in case. Over here, these guys threw up a banner on that side. On this side, these guys threw up a banner as well. And then for movement, the Scarabs came forward to grab this objective, along with the Nightbringer, keeping him protected in case any psychic stuff from Swarmlord comes over this way. Warriors just move forward, throwing a banner up on that objective, just getting positioned. Again, their whole deal is they really just don't want to get shot at by the Tyranid Warriors. And then same for over here. These guys are just kind of shuffling forward, getting ready for the counter-offensive. There's not a whole lot of shots. These guys opted not to do the Veil of Darkness. However, they do have their 5-up invul on them as well. So that is that. So we'll come back after, I don't think any actual, there might be a couple of shots coming in, but we'll come back after the shooting and the Satan power is not likely to be. So that ends the turn. The Satan did have line of sight onto this Tyrannofex with his antimatter meteor, and it rolled a 1. And that is actually the end of the turn. Nothing else is in range. There is the Arrow of Infinity, but opting to save that to either to finish off a target or soften something up once the shots start flying in. So that's it for Necrons turn 1. We'll come into Tyranids turn 1 and see what it looks like. All right, so movement done for the Tyranids. So on this side, I've kind of just backed away from where the Nightbringer is coming. Again, we got to hammer him with as many shots as I can. This guy's hopefully going to return the pain here, and then we'll deal out some wounds to him. And then hopefully he'll come through, not charge anything. We'll shoot him, launch over some psychic, and everything just goes dandy. Aside from that, the Ravener is moving forward on this side with the Red Terror. Trygon move forward with Swarmlord advancing and grabbing that objective. He's going to launch the Trygon forward first, and the Raveners are wave 2. These Termagants advance not very well, kind of coming up this way, and just kind of shielding all my important stuff from the Scorpions coming along. And same with these guys. Rod at this corner, and that is movement done. So we'll come into Psychic and shooting. So my shooting phase is actually almost faster than the Necron. So the Tyrannofex, it was the only thing in my army that could shoot as of right now. He shot at the Nightbringer with his double shooting Rupture cannon because he stayed still. Hit with 3 of them of the 6 shots. Didn't wound with any ICP, just to see if I could get that 3 wounds, because this is going to hurt me now. And it got it, but then he made his invul. I thought statistically I should be able to do something. And then Stinger shot with just nothing. So that's not good. Over here, though, I'm feeling a little bit better. The Trygon, he could shoot, but I don't want him to pull any of the models that are closer, because it will affect the charge a little bit. He's gonna get moved up here. I just forgot to do it because we were I was being sad about the Tyrannofex, so he'll be moving 9 inches up that way. Swarmlord did give him Catalyst, and he did use Psychic Scream to kill off a warrior in there. So that's it for Psychic and shooting. Pretty quiet on this front, so I think we're going to have a big clash here very soon. So we'll move into the assault phase as my Trygon is going to attempt to charge in at the warriors. All right, so that ends the turn for the Tyranids. So the Trygon went in, tried hard, but didn't do a whole lot. Killed 5 warriors after fighting twice, so I spent 3 CP to kill 1 extra warrior, thanks to some good reanimation rolls. And then taking 2 wounds in return from the warriors, and that objective still stands, of course, being that they're OBSEC. So I get, for this turn, all of mine to the last are still standing, as well as the Necrons. However, that warrior unit is to the last for the Necrons, so a little bit of a danger there if they get taken down. And Rod scored for this corner. So that's it. So we'll move into Necrons, turn 2. So movement is done for the Necrons. Over this way, we'll start here. The Nightbringer coming forward with his Scarab posse right there, coming through and ready to dish down some antimatter stuff over there, as well as the Gaze of Death. Not ready to charge anything, but still the Nightbringer is looking good. These guys move forward, threw up a banner there. They're just kind of like doing their thing, and then this objective right here is held by the Spiders, who came out to get a little bit of shots off, as well as give some tough choices on where to target things. On this side of the building, we had the Scorpex, who teleported with the Veil of Darkness. The game plan on this side of the table, and it's going to be, I think, potentially the most pivotal moment of the game to determine a lot, is the Trygon Prime. These guys fell back thanks to the Royal Warden there, who allowed them to still shoot. And then we also have the Arrow of Infinity plus the Warden, as well as the Entropic Lance coming into the Trygon Prime. So that 5-up from Dermic Symbiosis is going to hopefully pay off. If not, he is dead. And the thing is, too, is that objective is still held by the Warriors. However, they have to be within 3 inches of it and the Trygon, so he could heroically intervene into them and hurt them a little bit more. So a little bit riding on this move. These guys ideally getting a counter punch against Raveners as well. So that's it. We'll come back after shooting and, well, powers of Satan. So we're going to have some Patronic power coming into play. The Nightbringer is using its antimatter meteor on my poor Tyrannofex in the corner, who is indeed actually the one that is worth the 2 last points. I made it my Termagon head. 1, so that's why he's cowering in the corner, and there won't be any Gaze of Death happening. I backed away knowing that power is coming. So we're using Patronic dice. Brian, let's see if you work for the Necrons. On a 3, 2, 5, it's D3 more wounds. On that 6, it's right. D3 plus 3.
Let's see if you work for me, Brian.
Brian! Oh, thank you, Brian. So, Patronic power coming into play. You can check out the link in the video description below for more information to become a Patron and get these moments captured with your name shouted out in the battle. So I still have my Patronic dice. We'll get some revenge, Brian, here. So the shooting has gone down. The story so far is the Warriors dropped the Trygon down to 3 wounds with the combined might of a few stratagems bolstering their fire. The Spiders fired in, didn't do any wounds. Then the Entropic Lance from the Chronomancer has fired in, hit, and auto-wounded with the Necron stratagem. I'm going to use my Patronic dice now, Brian. I have a 5-up invul because I brought Dermic Symbiosis. A good thing I did on him. So on a 5-up. Oh, Brian the man. So we're good. So it's now down to the Royal Warden and potentially the Overlord using the Arrow of Infinity for a 3-wound guy. So we'll come back and see if they can do the job, and that'll actually be it for shooting. So the Trygon lives. Tachyon Arrow of Infinity used as well, and I made my 5-up invul. So the Trygon lives with 1 wound. I don't know if I'm actually going to heroically intervene him or not, but before I actually have to decide, we have a charge going to go down here with the Scorpex. They still want to go into the Raveners, or Do they want to try and charge the Trygon? Do you want to go for which one?
Well, I feel like I need to get on top of them guys.
Get them out of the way?
I need to get in there, yeah.
Fair. All right, so you need a 9 on the dice. We'll capture this. 6 CP left for the Necrons. Going for the Raveners. Nope, but they get a reroll, free reroll, because the Chronomancer. No, charge failed.
Rubbish.
So we'll come back after I mull over if it's worth.
Brian's fault.
Right. I did go for it. The Trygon went in. I actually rolled pretty decent. I spent a CP to reroll my wound rolls. I hit with, I think, 4 hits and then failed all my wound rolls, re-rolled them thanks to the CP, and only did 2 wounds. So really unfortunate rolling, and then reanimate brought 1 back. So killed a guy. So, and then died. The Warriors hit back hard, just barely, right to the last wound. So that I actually made a tactical error too. Like I think when I was getting very into the Trygon, just doing something cool. That means this table quarter is clear. So that is actually 2 extra victory points for the Necrons. I went for the huge gamble because if he did kill off some more of them, they potentially ran or got weaker. That objective, I could steal it. But I am in prime position to steal that objective now. So we'll come into Tyranids turn 2. In terms of points, the Necron scored 4 for Purge the Vermin. To the last is still good to go. And banners, they brought up 2 points at the start of this turn, with a 3rd banner now being raised. So we'll come into Tyranids turn 2. So movement done on turn 2, scoring 10 points for primaries, being that we both hold 3. These guys have they just moved back. He stayed still. Just hopefully going to clear off these Scarab Swarms and have that dealt with the Warriors. He's just staying still as well. Raveners move forward with the Red Terror. He has a path to go through in that way. And then the Warriors, hopefully I can get rid of them this turn and then clear that objective, as well as that'll secure my Stranglehold. And then Swarming moved over this way, just kind of hanging out with the Gaunts move forward as well. Going to Psychic Scream at those guys, being that I don't need line of sight with that. And, sorry, actually, he should be out just a bit more, because then I can smite those guys too. I was really mulling over his movement because they're coming. And that's pretty much it for movement. We'll come back after Psychic and shooting phase done. I had to double shoot the Warrior. So we'll start out, actually, we'll start with the Tyrannofex there, fired across at these Scorpec Destroyers, thinking I should be able to clear them off. They took 2 wounds from Psychic Power and Smite from the Swarmlord. Fighting with the Tyrannofex, got 3 wounds through. He made 3 5-up saves from the Chronomancer's ability being passed off to them from the last turn, so they had 5-up invul. So very unfortunate for me. And then between the Warriors and the Tyrannofex shooting at Stinger Salvo, I had to fire them twice to kill off these Scarab Swarms, and then through the double firing, I put Venom Cannons into the Nightbringer to get him down to 6 wounds. So we're chipping him away, and then a Rupture Cannon going through on these Scarabs, only getting 2 wounds through. I'm really not loving the Rupture Cannons right now. Dropping them down to 2 wounds on the front one, and that's it. So charge is about to go down. We got Red Terror coming through. I'm going to roll up here. I don't know what the actual number is, but we're just going to see if I roll well enough that I don't need to. Yeah, he's good. And then the Raveners are obviously in as well. So hopefully kill off those Warriors, and we'll come back after that. All right, so that ends the turn here. The Raveners and the Red Terror came in, wiped these guys out, and then I used Overrun and launched the Raveners over this way just to keep them away from the Destroyers. I'm okay if they come over and kill the Red Terror at this point. He's just kind of a roadblock anyway, but I still have my full unit of Raveners to zip around and potentially pick apart these guys or just harass that objective. So, and that's it for the turn. So scoring, I did get my Stranglehold, so scoring 3 for that. Wiped out 1 Abyss while we stand, so that is 1 part gone. Still 2 on the table with the Scorpex as well as the Nightbringer. So moving to Necrons, turn 3. Movement is done for the Necrons on turn 3, getting a total of 10 points for primaries, being that I didn't kill those stinking spiders off. The Nightbringer came forward here, ready to dish some pain on my poor Warriors. All these warriors stay back. They're just going to get rid of that Lictor because he can either come attempt to steal this objective or make his way across there and throw down the rod in that corner, which is one of the ones I have left. And Spiders move back as well just to kind of shoot down this way, potentially free up some options. Scorpex coming forward to fight the Red Terror, hopefully take him out with combined fire from the guy here and then the Royal Warden as well. So that's movement done. I'll move into shooting in Satan powers. All right, so and then you're also going to charge up here. So we're just talking about the charges that are going to happen. So shooting is done. The Red Terror was killed here. And then that frees the way for these guys to go through. And then the only other thing that happened in shooting was these guys killed the Lictor. Right down to the last wound, he almost made it. And then over here, he lost 3 wounds from the Gaze of Death. So the Nightbringer is going to charge here. I am going to Overwatch, but we'll just see if he makes it. So we're going to capture this. It's going to be a big moment. The Necrons need him to make it or else he is in trouble. I don't think that'll do it. And then, yeah, we'll just check here very quickly. Sorry. I'll let you. Yeah, I think you need a 5 on the dice. Yes. Yep. You need a 6 on the dice. You need. So you can spend a command point and reroll that. Yeah. So down to 5 command points. So you need. Needs a 6 on the dice.
The dice are retired.
I got it. And then up this way, we'll see if you make this charge. You do get a reroll from the Chronomancer, benefiting them. So free reroll here, and they are in. So I think you need an 8, I believe it was. So that's it. So they're going to come in, and then the Nightbringer is going to come in. I'll do my Overwatch off camera. He's making it no matter what because I can't kill him, but we'll see if I get some bonus wounds. Combat is done. The Nightbringer took 3 wounds on the way in with Overwatch, with the Venom Cannons actually dealing out a ton of damage there. So that came from just the Venom Cannon. So very awesome. And then he came in, killed off 2 warriors. Very poor rolling. Missed with 3 of his attacks, and then missed with another on the wound roll. And then only killed 1, then 2 off between the damage rolls. And then they struck back, dropped him down to 1 wound. Different story over here as the Reap Blades attacked in, diced up 5 of the Raveners and killed them so far back the other guys couldn't fight, but they piled in, and 2 Raveners remain there. So that is it for the turn for the Necrons. So scoring 2 points for Vermin, had to kill off those 2 guys to clear this quarter. And to the last still has the Nightbringer on the table. Hopefully I can get rid of him. And then this objective has become a banner once again. So we'll move into Tyranids turn 3. So pretty quick movement phase. The Warriors moved away from the Nightbringer. The only way I can move is I'm still within 3. So if I don't manage to kill him with my shooting between him, and him, he'll be fighting my Warriors again, which kind of sucks. Over this way, the Swarmlord came around here. He's going to come up and assist the Raveners, hopefully clear them off. I would have really liked him to come around and fight these guys, but these guys are going to come around and start sweeping my objectives if I don't take care of them soon, being that all my shooting stuff has to clear off the Nightbringer. So that's it, scoring 10 points for primary. We each hold 3 as of right now. So we'll come back after the Psychic and shooting. For shooting, Swarmlord changed directions. A bit of a change up here. We forgot about the Feeling of Pain for the Raveners, so that came into play. Actually saved 3 Raveners' lives doing that, which was insane. But then that meant there's 2 more Reap Blades, and they ended up chopping 1 down to down to 1 wound. So in a way, they didn't do any return damage for the attacks going back, but all it did is mean Swarmlord can't come through there. I know I could have felled them back, but I wanted to kind of hold the guys there. So Swarmlord just moved around, double moved himself over there. The Nightbringer fell to that Tyrannofex in the corner, and he didn't blow up, so everything is safe. And then this Tyrannofex fired in and managed to kill off the wounded spider, and that was it. So not a whole lot happening on that side of the board, but we got a combat going down with the Swarmlord coming in to fight these guys here. So we'll see what happens after that. Swarmlord came in and killed off just 2 guys, and that was it. The guys strike back and knock Swarmlord down to, what is he at, 7? Yeah, 7 wounds. So he took a beating, and really unfortunate those Reap Blades putting in work, and me also not making any of my Catalyst saves or my involves, and then the Raveners failed to do anything, and they lost 2 of them, so there's 2 left there. That's pretty much it for the turn. So scoring nothing for secondaries this turn. I really had to kill off that spider and or do insanely well over here and have some crazy stuff happen. But just got to kill that spider. That's the big thing now. But it can fly away and hide. Spider. So yeah, that is it for the turn. Necron's holding 3 banners up right now. So doing very well on the secondary. So we'll come into turn 4 for the Necrons. So pretty quick movement phase here for the Necrons. The Chronomancer moved forward, and he's going to hopefully just tie up Swarmlord. That's the name of the game here. No shooting actually going to happen, so we're going to right into the combat phase. These guys move back. Necron's getting 3 for banners. Vermin's going to be a tight one. That one's going to be one of the lacking secondaries, so on par with my Stranglehold potentially. So we'll come back after the fighting as the Chronomancer is going to come in, hopefully do some damage to Swarmlord. The other 2 are just going to hold back, just to, again, hold that objective, just in case a Ravener or a Swarmlord lives and comes over that way, because it is worth points, and holding that as well for primaries. And it also denies me my Stranglehold, which I really need to get through. So we'll come back after the fighting with the Chronomancer, Scorpex, and Swarmlord. That ends the turn. The guy came in, didn't do anything, and then Swarmlord killed off 3 Scorpex, leaving 1 left, and it did no... Well, it wounded Swarmlord, failed his invul, but they made all 3 of the Catalyst saves, so very clutch for Swarmlord. And that is it for the turn. So Necron scoring 3 for banners. To the last is still that last Scorpex, so he's worth some points there. So if he dies, there is all the to last gone. But the Necron's doing very well on secondaries. Otherwise, scoring 2 for Vermin, and that is it for the turn. So we'll come back after Tyranids turn 4. So movement phase done. Over here, the Warriors rot at this corner, so that is done. And then everyone else just kind of shuffle forward. Tyrannofex just sat still. He can see the Warriors a little bit on that side. And then over here, these Gaunts left this objective being that turn 4, I'm going to turn 5 so I can score my objectives at the end. So if I have something that can make it over there, such as Raveners living and zipping back, I can do that. And then these guys can come up and rod this corner. So that is the game plan over there. So oh, sorry, they meant to advance as well. I forgot to an extra inch there. So that is it. So we're going to go into some psychic and a little bit of shooting to come. So the end of the turn here, Swarmlord finished the Scorpec finished off the 2 Raveners, and then Swarmlord diced up the Raveners and the Chronomancer, split his attacks and moved up this way, not within an inch, but just moving towards these guys. And that is it for the turn. So we'll move into Necrons, turn 5. So, Necron's turn 5, just very quickly, all that happened was the Swarmlord took 2 wounds from the Royal Warden shooting. The Overlord came into fight because he wanted to keep 2 on this objective and really stop the banner from happening. Didn't do any wounds, didn't take any wounds in return thanks to the final CP rerolling a failed roll, and that's it. So they're standing there. And purge the Vermin only for this quarter. So that is turn 5 for the Necrons. We're going to quickly go into Tyranids turn 5 and see what it looks like. So quickly going through the Tyranids turn, all that happened for me was these guys move forward. I used Metabolic Overdrive to move again, and then used Swarmlord's ability since they got within 6 to move 1 more time, thus grabbing the objective, taking the banner down, and at the end of my turn scoring Stranglehold as well as maxing on primaries for the final turn. Swarmlord and the Overlord just, he dealt 2 wounds to the Overlord and he was good. So for my to the last, all of my to the last survived, getting me 15 points for that. Stranglehold, I had a total of 6. 12 for Rod, being that they got the final Rod completed over there. And then I had 45. I maxed on primaries. Necrons had 40 points collectively for primaries, just not getting ahead for that last little bit on primaries for the hold more. And then scored 10 for Purge the Vermin, not clearing this table quarter off. A couple of those turns cost. To the last, nothing there. Unfortunately, losing the Scorpex, Warriors, and Nightbringer. And then banners did actually very well in that, 12 in total. Losing that early on, they would have maxed that. So final score is 78 for the Tyranids to 62. So very close game, all said and done. Big chunk of the army too, just kind of holding the objective there, but they came in clutch. Your MVP would be? Who would you pick?
My MVP of the game? It's the Reaper.
The Reaper, yeah, the Scorpex who were there. So they took a heavy toll, killing all the Raveners and just about killing the Swarmlord, well injured. Then for me, I would say my MVP would be Swarmlord for sure. Coming in clutch with saves and wounds. Just General Grievous over there. So that is it. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Stay tuned for more reports to come. I have a game against Iron Hands tomorrow night, which will, I guess, for you watching, will be up later this week. And I'm going to run an interesting list against that one. So stay tuned for that. One thing quickly to note at the end here, we did, if you mentioned to comment this already, we caught it. In terms of the action for Rod and then moving again with Swarmlord's ability, that cannot be done. Again, it was super late, so I wasn't fully paying attention myself. And afterwards, we were talking about it, and then I recalled that the action couldn't have been done. Either way, they still would have moved and stopped the banner. So it would just slightly change the game, being that the score would be 74 to 62. So a little bit closer in favor of the Necron. So just worth mentioning in case anyone caught that. Just, again, want to try and do everything properly.